Hey guys, I'm back with another Bruce Box market update, and I'm going to talk about Scarlet Violet and why you shouldn't underestimate it, and also a little bit interesting data with Sword and Shield. Just a little minor thing, but I think most people would notice it. So let's get started. So for every booster box, I'll give you the brief summary. So Scarlet Violet, I'll just classify that as it's going to take a little longer. It's at 190, and the demand is not strong enough to kind of break through the 190 price for the time being, as far as I can see it. So nothing interesting there. But next is Paldea. So Paldea I see to have the strongest demand out of pretty much every booster box. Over the last 3 days, it's selling about 25 boxes, which for other boxes like Sword and Shield, it's usually like close to zero, to be honest. But other Scarlet Vibe boxes, it's usually more around like 10. So it's kind of selling at pretty much double like every other booster box in that sense, at least in the last couple of days. And this is after all the crazy price swings. Like Paldea had gone to I think like 240 at some point, yeah, 239. Um, there was that big TCG player sale. It went all the way down to 9 yesterday, and now it's back to 220, which is the price from the third or the second. And yeah, pretty much Paldea with that sort of demand. As I said before, it's just like really, really strong. Like even as prices change so much, our prices increases, people were still buying a lot. When I scroll down, there's only this seller here for the 319, and then this one over here, and this one. So, like, it's pretty much like if another booster box was selling 5 or 10 boxes a day, this would be more of a big deal. Since Paldea is becoming so strong, like these boxes will go away, and then you get to like the 325s afterwards. Um, Definitely, I don't really see it going on a big decline in a sense. And even though like Paldea seems to always recover, I like to look at what how much boxes are actually selling for, and yeah, I do see some people actually just buying for like the 325 mark, and some of them buying for lower marks. If I look at Twilight one, it's actually a little more interesting. But yeah, Paldea seems to be like one of the strongest boxes as far as like resiliency. Like it does have its ups and downs, but the demand is pretty much definitely the strongest as far as I can see. Sitting Flames, to give you a comparison, like you see like a lot of concentrated bars over here, but like yeah, this is still only usually about 10 bucks a day, like 10 to 13 bucks a day. So that's about half of what Paldea is selling for, although it's a little more consistent. But yeah, we've seen that Obsidian price has remained kind of the same for a while. I think it dropped like 50 cents or something. Um, yeah, like it's like 70, like less than a dollar. And yeah, with that sort of demand though, it's strong enough that it should eventually go up. And unlike Scarlet Vibe Base, like it is very similar to Scarlet Vibe Base in a sense, where Scarlet Vibe Base has like the bar's a lot lower, but yeah, it's about the same. Like Scarlet Vibe Base is a little less demand, but there's a little bit more sense that people won't get rid of it. Whereas Obsidian is more of a popular box, and with that sort of demand, it should eventually run out of supply for people to sell. It's just been kind of stuck here for a while. A lot of boxes are kind of reached that point where they're hitting the 200s and remain that resistance. But as more and more boxes kind of run out of actual supply or like amount of sellers who are willing to sell at that price, like we're seeing Stellar could actually hit that. Um, these boxes are have to rise up. There's like no other option because eventually people are going to see it as like the at least the cheapest option, and so the boxes are going to rise. But right now, since demand is still pretty steady, it should remain around the same price at least for now, and eventually it will like there will be some sort of like threshold that it will cross. Paradox, I think it's gonna cross pretty soon. It's been at 175 for a while now. Ever since that TCG player sale, it kind of dropped um, quite a bit. Well, actually, no, it was actually at 160 for a while, and then went to 180, and then around TCG player sale, it went down to like 150 and then 170. Um, Technically it's only down like that's like like about less than $10 from the all time high. And then like about $5-7 from the second all time high. So it's actually not that bad for Paradox. But what I do see here is that demand for the last couple of days, you see like this normal trend of like it's actually selling kind of better than Obsidian 15, 15, 23, 14. And when I scroll down, like, yeah, I see the seller over here sells for 174, 176, but they hit the 180s again pretty quickly. There's only 4 boxes over there. It seems like some of the I'm seeing less of another sign that supply is going out. I'm seeing less of those low ball sellers like heavy tech here. So I'm guessing all the boxes are starting to be bought out. Um, and yeah, nothing too interesting in the selling data. Okay, so temporal, I'm not gonna talk that much about. Like it's like too slow right now. Wait until it sells on Poco Center. I think that'll happen pretty soon. And my estimate is mid March. Twilight's interesting because Twilight technically keeps going down. Um, you see here it kind of went so it went from like 210 on the 23rd, and it went to like 230, and it went down a little bit, and it went to, oh no, 237. Oh, okay, back to 230, 227. Now it's at 220. So it looks like it's dropping, right? Um, there's a couple of things. So demand wise, it's selling like 8 to 14 boxes a day, I'd say. Yeah, about 8 to 14. Every now and then it gets 25. Um, thing about it is that I keep seeing where like there's only a few boxes listed at the lower price. So like there's this like 219, 224, like 219 price, and it goes back to 224 over here, and 225. So it goes back to like the 220s again, pretty soon. But what's most interesting is that when I look at the actual selling data, a lot of boxes are actually selling for the 230s or like mid 220s. If you look over here, like 237, 224, 234, 222, 224, 224, 222, 226, 229. Like this doesn't usually happen. And so yeah, I think a lot of people are just skipping over these lower sellers and they're going straight for like maybe like over here where like they really value the gold star pretty much, gold star sellers. Um and yeah, so I think a lot of people are skipping here actually, but these are kind of clouding up the market price. So don't underestimate Twilight because of that. Stellar Crown, I think it's only up like less than $1, but I think it's technically a new high of like 196.5 versus like 195. So I just put it there. But yeah, Stellar is doing really, really good. Um, again, it's selling like 19, like usually the last couple of days has been 8 to 13 boxes a day, not the strongest demand. This is actually quite a low amount of boxes for Stellar. Like it was released very, very recently. It was like the last booster box that besides Surging Sparks. um as far as like price increases though go, like it could possibly hit 200 soon, um because there's not that many boxes. But yeah, I'm seeing like usually like heavy tech they would be here and it's not. And also 700 boxes are sold on the 27th. Like I don't really like a lot of supplies already been flushed out of the market based on sale. And also since people actually bought it all, that kind of shows like how popular it is. But it also could be because how many were listed for sale on that day. But yeah, Stellar is doing pretty good. As far as like what people are buying, people actually are buying at the 196. There's this 199 here. It's also selling stronger thing. So yeah, it's interesting because Twilight and Stellar are the more recent sets, but they're actually kind of doing better in terms of sales. Like the sales numbers are actually pretty good. Um, and then surging, there's not really much to talk about. Like the demand is slightly lower, so I'm not going to go too much into that. But yeah, it's going to like it's not really going to go down very much if it does, because it's like the best booster box that people want. Okay, so Sword and Shield, there's mainly two things I want to talk about. One of them is that there's a new seller on the block, a new cheap seller called Your Average Store. Over here, I'll tend to like just notice like new stores pop up. So they have Sword and Shield base on sale for 420, where it's usually for about 450, and they have Rebel. I think they have Rebel Clash here too. Rebel Clash, yeah, Your Average Store for 290. So yeah, they're it's a new discount seller. They technically have um like a gold star. I'm not saying they're a shade or anything, but like this just happens like more than you think. Like a new seller, and I'll tend to remember the name over time. Like oh, like heavy text. I've just seen heavy text so many times that like it's ridiculous. But yeah, Your Average Store is a new seller on the block, so that's one thing. Another thing is a lot of the boxes that we're doing kind of I'm seeing like just a very slight increase in blip of demand for a lot of the boxes. I wrote them down. Let's see. I wrote down where chilling, fusion, evolving, lost, and silver. So a lot of these boxes they have the sales, so like I don't really expect numbers to go up, but like yesterday. Um, 3 boxes Chilling Reign sold, which is actually kind of a lot for it. Usually it's like one. Um, Evolving Skies had 4 boxes sold, which is way more than normal. Usually it's more like one or zero. Fusion Strike, like these bars, these graphs are a lot hard to read because of the big bar over here. There's three versus normally it's like 1, 2, 1 the last couple of days. Um, Astral Lost Origin, you see a little blip over there. Um, Four sold yesterday, so 1 and 2. And the Silver Tempest today actually there was 6 boxes sold. So like it's not the biggest thing in the world, but it's just interesting to me because like the last because it's like the third or fourth day after the TCG player sale. I think Lost Origin didn't have a sale or something, but like um, most of these boxes were affected by the sale, and you're seeing like the demand kind of pick up a little bit all around the same day. So I don't know, if it's just like one buyer buying it all. Um, but I'm gonna look out for that sort of thing in the future. Like, does this continue? Is this start of a new trend or not? Otherwise, Dark Test Blaze has reached 208 now because those 203 or 204 boxes went away. Um, Probably even if it keeps going, like it's nothing too exciting. It'll go to like 214 next. Battle styles, the man, there was a little extra here at 9, but I'm still kind of waiting on battle styles. It could reach like 190 soon, if that interests you. Chilling Reign, it was mainly just the man thing, but as far as like price decreases, Chilling Reign did go down to 3010. I think your average store also maybe less than that. No, never mind. There's this other R Maxer games. And Evolving Skies at 1300 instead of the 1320. And yeah, that was your average store. They listed Evolving Skies. So your average store seems to have some Sword and Shields available. And the only other thing is that Brilliant Stars the strong demand is kind of like just waned. Like it went to zero yesterday, so it finally hit like 300, and then no one wants to buy now. So that's like kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, it's slowed down, and the Astral Radius, which has been on a dry run of like no demand all of a sudden, had 2 bought yesterday. That didn't really affect the price, but there's definitely some resistance at that 260 mark. All right, that's it for today's video. Thanks, guys. Bye.